Hi, this is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and this is your Singer 319W. She's fresh off the restoration bench and looking good and sewing great. And we're going to, this is the final test, and we're going to go over the basic operation of the machine and how to operate the various controls, how to wind the bobbin and thread the machine. So we're going to start by winding a bobbin, and to do that, put your thread on the spool pin, go into the first thread guide here at the top of the machine, and then down to the tension device for the bobbin. Put your thread into the bobbin through the little slot in the side from the inside toward the out. Hold your thread and put several wraps onto the bobbin to hold the thread in place while the bobbin winds. And then put it onto the bobbin winder with the thread coming on over the top. And turn your bobbin winder until the pin of the bobbin winder goes into the little slot on the side of the bobbin. Your bobbin winder down so the rubber tire contacts the wheel, and this little finger here will drop into the bobbin, and as the bobbin winds, it's going to push that little lever up until when the bobbin's full, it'll pop it loose, and so your bobbin doesn't overfill and spill thread everywhere. Declutch your machine by turning the chrome knob in the center of the hand wheel a quarter of a turn towards you until it hits a stop. You'll feel that. Pretty hard to miss. Then your hand wheel can spin without making the rest of the machine cycle. Now we're ready to wind the bobbin. And there's no reason to go fast, because if you go fast, you can tangle things up like I just did. There we go. That should be enough for our test. You won't wind a full bobbin. Click the little finger up, take off your bobbin, tighten the clutch knob, and then your bobbin goes into the bobbin case. When you put your bobbin into the bobbin case, you want the thread to come off the top in this direction, and then it's going to double back into this little slot on the side and up under the leaf spring of the tension. And that's this is your whole lower tension here. And you adjust it by loosening and tightening this little screw here. But for the most part, you'll probably never have to change it unless you do something out of the ordinary. To install your bobbin case, tip your machine back and slip it onto the pin in the center of your hook and bobbin race here. Make sure that it clicks into place so it's in securely. To thread the machine, put your spool on the spool pin, go into this first thread guide again, directly down between the discs of the tension assembly, and all the way around until you reach the top and can catch the check spring. Then go under the big thread guide and then from right to left through the take-up lever. Pick up the thread guide on the faceplate, the one below that also on the faceplate, And there's a thread guide on the needle clamp itself. And then through the needle, and this one threads from right to left. Oh wait, no it doesn't. This one threads from front to back. Turn your hand wheel one full turn towards you, and the needle will take the thread down where the hook will pick it up and wrap it around the bobbin and bring up the lower thread. Put the thread between the toes of the presser foot and towards the back of the machine, and you're ready to sew. So all of these things are not as complex as they look. This lever at the top is your needle home position. You can choose to have your needle home position be in the center, to the right, to the left, or to the right. And there you go. Left position, center position, right position. So that's this lever. This lever here is your stitch width. That's the width of your zigzag. So with this lever, you adjust your zigzag from 0 to 5. And these little screws just kind of lock it in place. You should read up on that in your user manual, which of course is included. This is your stitch length, and going from the 0 position in the center where the feed dogs don't move the fabric at all, the further you get from the center, either down or up, the longer your stitches get. If you go down from the center position, your stitches get longer and longer and longer in the forward direction. And if you go up, your stitches get longer and longer in reverse. So we're going to go set it at about 12 stitches per inch. That's a good average for regular fabric. You tighten this down when you have your stitch length chosen, and then when you go into reverse, your stitches will be the same, 12 stitches per inch in reverse. This is your stitch pattern cam for fancy stitches, and these up here are stitch pattern levers. And they'll mark right on each lever what it does. And to add the pattern cam into the mix, you raise this lever. And then as the cam turns, it moves this lever up and down, and that's what moves your needle back and forth to create the stitch pattern. So, all right, that's a lot of verbiage. We'll get back to all of that. So right now we're in straight stitch, 12 stitches per inch. Lower the presser foot onto your fabric using the lever in the back here. And it's a good idea to hold your threads for the first couple of stitches. Not always necessary, but it's a good habit. And you can go slow and steady and careful, or you can go much faster. or may not be able to see that, but it's a nice even stitch. To have your stitches a little bit longer, you just move your lever down a little bit, and then your stitches are longer. If you want to zigzag, you move this lever, and the closer you get to 5, the wider your stitch is. 0 is straight stitch, 1 is a little tiny stitch, and then they get wider and wider and wider until you get up to 5, which is your widest stitch width. Oh, and you have to flip up the zigzag lever. This is your adjuster for the pressure of your presser foot on the fabric. So I'm going to add a little bit more pressure. That's a nice clean looking zigzag, even on the front and the back. To do a fancy stitch, just put your zigzag lever back down and choose a different one. Let's do the ball stitch. We're going to shorten up the stitch length for that. Go down to maybe 25 stitches per inch. I'll shorten it even a little bit more. Fabric's got to keep moving while you're making stitches, or it kind of balls up on the bottom, and then the fabric can't move. You may be able to tell there's party going on at Leisureland tonight. I'm taking a little break from the party to come out and make a video for you. Got a whole bunch of youngsters here. Well, youngsters being young 20-somethings, which is pretty fun. A lot of good energy. But I'm going to have to take that off and show you. That's the ball stitch there. The next one is a chevron. You've got a scallop and a, I'm not sure what you call the multi-stitch zigzag. But it's there. And you can use these stitches in combination with the stitch pattern cam that you choose to use. And you'll have to experiment with that to see what kind of results you get. But to change this cam, just take that cap off, slide your cam off, easy as pie. And then you have a full set of stitch pattern cams. This one was a scallop stitch. This one, I have no idea what it's called, but we can put it on there. There's a keeper pin on here, and there's a slot in the side of the disc. It'll be pretty obvious. The keeper pin goes into the slot, then the cap goes back on. And then when you raise this lever, the blank lever, you'll see this finger turn. It's a follower that's going to follow the indentations on the cam, and that's what's going to make the needle move to make that pattern. So let's try that. You can see everything moving here as the follower follows the landscape of that cam. And I think you can probably see that. It's kind of a step pattern. Now we're going to combine it with something random. I have no idea what's going to happen when I do this. I'm going to raise the Chevron lever. Let's see how that changes that stitch pattern in conjunction with this pattern. And let's see, I'm going to try a different one here. I'm going to raise the scallop lever. Yeah, you're going to have fun with this, trying out all the different possible combinations. You have six stitch pattern cams here to work with, and you have a full accessory set. It's got two different plates. It's got a straight stitch plate and I don't remember what the other plate is for. But you've got a variety of presser feet, and you've got looks like a ruffler there, and a multi-slotted binder, edge stitcher. I don't know what that one does. Zipper foot, just lots of stuff in here. So, I think that's about everything. Party's swinging in there. I should probably get back to it. But let's put everything back where it was, and we're going to be in the needle center position. Going to go back to straight stitch. Set the stitch length at about 12 stitches per inch. There you go. And you have the online manual that I sent you, and you'll have your paper copy here too. So read it. It's not a long read. It's real. It's an easy read. Sit down with a cup of coffee and read it through, and it will greatly enhance your sewing experience. You'll feel a lot more confident with this machine if you take the time to read the manual. You can skip, how to do all the fancy stitches and stuff, but read the basics of, machine operation. Oiling. You're going to want to oil your machine. If you use it all day, every day, oil it every couple of days. If you use it you know, a couple times a week for several hours. Probably oil it once a month. If you bring it out on rare occasions for, you know, to patch your pants or to do some special thing, and it hasn't been oiled in 3 months, go through and oil it, because the oil will evaporate, and you want the parts to be able to slip and slide on a nice clean film of oil. Oh boy, live fiddle music. Okay, I know that this is a sewing machine video, but we're gonna go see Rose play. She's a professional. So you're at Leisureland, and this there's a family gathering going on for one of my landmates, and this is her mom. Her mom's oh, and her daughter. Okay, this is my landmate's sister. Anyway, party. So anyway, if you've come here from somewhere else on the internet, we are Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and we're on Stagecoach Road out in the Coast Range of Oregon. So we are stagecoachroadsewing.com. And if you come out to our website, you're going to see we've got pictures of hundreds and hundreds of machines that we've restored over the last 25 years or so. Hundreds and hundreds, you'll be amazed. And we have pictures from all different angles, and probably a little bit of information about the machine. Okay. Anyway, stagecoachroadsewing.com, and we'll see you there.